Hello, friends. I wanted to take some time today to talk about a controversial issue in the world of children's literature, and that is of celebrity authors. Do you think those that are celebrities in music, film, TV should be given the opportunity from publishing companies to write books for children? And does their fame qualify them as being literary examples for kids? So I wanted to talk about that for a few minutes, and I'm definitely interested to see what you think about this topic. There's a few organizations out there that feel really strongly about it. There's one called BACA, Bloggers Against Celebrity Authors, and they like to keep tabs on what some of the celebrities out in America are doing for kids. Um, for example, one that comes to mind is Jack Nicholson once read a book at a football stadium to a stadium full of children, and he chose to read Walter the Farting Dog. And this organization did not like that at all. He didn't write that book, but just the fact that someone who is a famous person chose a book and read it to so many children as an influencing authority figure, this organization just was not happy with that, the book choice or the celebrity pick to represent children's literature to kids. So I like to keep my eye on this organization. They have some interesting things to say sometimes. But perhaps you're not aware of how many books are written by celebrities. So this is an example of a book written by a princess from England, Sarah Ferguson, Princess Fergie, they call her. Here's one Jeff Foxworthy wrote. I particularly like some of the children's books by the comedians just because I love comedians and my husband and I go on date nights to see comedians, and so it's kind of my thing. But uh, some of their books are their stand-up comedy bits written down into books. So I enjoy some of them. I especially enjoy this one, Jerry Seinfeld's Halloween. And sometimes in that book you can find the CD of him performing that bit to a live audience. But that particular children's book I think is pretty funny. So you'll have to be the judge if you think some are good or bad. I'll tell you what I think. Here's a page from Halloween um, where kids are always looking up and thinking about the word up, while parents are always trying to get kids to calm down, sit down, slow down. So you might have heard that book, heard of the book, or heard Jerry Seinfeld performing it. Another comedian who's written a book. I don't really love this one very much, but Jay Leno wrote this children's book. Al Yankovic wrote this. This one kind of surprised me. Madonna wrote it. I didn't want to like it, but I kind of liked the story, so it's not my favorite. But as far as celebrity authors go, I don't want Madonna being a role model for my children. Sorry, rock fans, but the plot of this story is not too bad. Here's a book I do like. Dom DeLuise wrote it. I think the reason is because I really like the illustrations by Christopher Santoro. Not necessarily Dom DeLuise's version of Hansel and Gretel, but here are some of the illustrations in it that I found enjoyable. The witch is just so funny in this book. So another celebrity author who has had a lot of success in children's literature is Jamie Lee Curtis. And she wrote a few books. Here's one, Tell Me Again About the Night I Was Born and When I Was Little, a 4-year-old's memoir of her youth. I do like the way Jamie Lee Curtis writes. I don't question that she wrote it. Sometimes I question if the celebrities had a ghostwriter help them out. But I do think that Jamie Lee Curtis writes her books herself. So here's a bunch of other celebrities and their books that they've written. I'm not going to read them all, but you can scan here as I scroll. That there are quite a lot of celebrities who've been given the opportunity to write books. I have read some of these ones by Julie Andrews. They're not my favorite. I was kind of disappointed because I love Julie Andrews, and her books weren't as great as I thought they'd be. John Lithgow's book has had some success. So you can see from just this short list, some of these celebrities are singers or actors or just famous celebrities. Um, one I When I consider children's books by celebrities, I always think of this clip I heard on NPR, so I'm going to end this video with it. But I'd love to hear your opinion in comments about how you feel about celebrities writing books for children.
I write children's books. Yes, that's my job. So you might think I'd be a bit annoyed by all of those celebrities messing around in my field. Jay Leno is plugging his kid's book about a family roast beef. Madonna has published her book about not fitting in and has plans for more. Billy Crystal loves being a grandpa. Jerry Seinfeld remembers Halloween. John Lithgow, Whoopi Goldberg, Spike Lee, John Travolta, Dom DeLuise? Yes, they've all written their idea of a children's book. Do I care? Not really. If I cared about other people crashing the children's book world, I'd have been a basket case a long time ago. Because everybody, and I mean everybody, thinks they can write a children's book. Just yesterday, my dentist was telling me another one of his can't-miss ideas. Last week, the coach of my son's hockey team sketched me his plans for an entire series. I'll never forget the woman who told me she had hundreds of good ideas. She just hadn't written them down yet. So of course celebrities think they can write children's books. I mean, celebrities are just like you or me. They just have a lot more money and a much better shot at getting on the Today Show to promote whatever they write. But I don't care. Really, I don't. Because real writers of children's books have a secret weapon. Our audience, children. They are so sweet, so trusting, so loving, and the most brutally honest critics in the world. They don't care who you are, where you've been, or what you've done. You can have a top TV show, 2 platinum albums, 3 hit movies, or 4 extra heads. If your story's not good, it's not going to entertain kids. Another requirement for a good children's book, which most would-be kids' book authors miss, is that the book must be written for children. You have to read to real kids and listen to how they respond. They'll tell you how you're doing. So you might have to throw out that idea of what you thought was so funny or so touching. You might have to rewrite your story 10, 15, 20 times. You should definitely throw out your idea about writing a very important lesson, or writing anything in rhyme. Writing for kids isn't about you. It's about them. Like a good teacher or a good parent, you have to give up always being the one in the spotlight. That's a tough stretch for a lot of writers. An even tougher stretch for celebrities living in that spotlight. So welcome, Jay. Good luck, Madonna. Best wishes, Jerry. Glad to see you, Billy. Come on, Whoopi. Do your best, you celebrity children's book writers. You have nothing to fear, except maybe standing in front of an audience that doesn't really know and doesn't really care who you are, with nothing but the words and pictures in the book in front of you. Go get 'em, kids.
The comments of John Szyszka, the author of The Stinky Cheese Man and The True Story of the 3 Little Pigs.